Okay, this is a huge red flag for me. All right. It's so crazy. I was gonna say men.
Women do not hate men. They're either just tired, disappointed, or not accepting the downfall of their own flaws. Some women have this mask where they're storing pain and causing pain to just like any man. Hurt people hurt people. God doesn't make mistakes. He strategically designed women for the greater good of men. Men have allowed society to disrupt the healthy function of God's structure of the relationship between men and women. Yes, men have that much power. Adam and Eve showed us why God placed men as the lead, as the head. But men are not leading anymore. There is a gender war going on. This war was created by the enemy and it promotes toxic relationships and This war has men and women defining each other based off past experiences, what they heard, and stereotypes. These actions are only keeping people away from their person, resulting in bitterness. Now, let's take it back to how this hate initially started. Men were leaving their homes to find work, and although it was supposed to be a temporary situation, it built a long-term shift within families. Also, at this time, we saw a shift in society norms where women were stepping into the workforce seeking equal rights because they weren't receiving equal rights in the family home. Now, I 100% believe in the family structure where a man goes out to work and provides, and a woman stays home and provides in that sort of way. But I also believe that a man should always have respect for his wife. And a woman should not submit to a man unless she has come to an understanding that he has a certain level of respect for her and her beliefs to submit to him as her lead. So when people say that a woman becomes a slave when she submits to her husband, they are not talking about God's structure of marriage. I'm all for equal rights. Basically, to me, equal rights means giving and getting respect. But what I don't support is feminism. I feel like feminism has a underlying masculine energy behind it. And so what's sad is during the 1960s and 70s, they also snuck in at the perfect wrong time the feminine movement. And when they snuck this in, so many women of this generation were dealing with actual toxic masculinity. And so it was like an easy choice for them to jump on the feminine movement. It's similar to how the Black Lives Matter came into play when Black people were dealing with a whole lot of racism in America. It came in at the perfect timing and it was highly advertised in the media and just looked as a good movement for our people. But once everything calmed down, we were able to realize the true meaning behind the Black Lives Matter movement. Remember, this world belongs to Satan. Nothing in this world will be given a large amount of influence and media attention if it doesn't support the agenda of the enemy. But we'll talk about hidden agendas a little later. One of the first results of this societal shift was the ideal man that had multiple sexual relationship partners. This type of behavior creates a filthy soul. And in order for a man to keep up with this lifestyle, he has become sneaky, conniving, manipulative, and a liar. And so this type of behavior builds a foundation where toxic heartbreak now becomes a normal step in people's lives. And it is more likely now that people's first is not going to be their last because for some odd reason, it is normal and it is a need to practice with soul ties before you find the one right person. Are we no longer mature enough as people in society to be able to choose our first love as our true love? So if not, what changed? So the shift is evident, and we're also able to see the shift through the music. We went from Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone to Tupac, I Get Around. And so women were experiencing additional hurt. So they adapted. And they adapted into what men love to call crazy. They begin by acting out behind wrongdoings, getting revenge and things like that. Then they would go to the extremes, playing Inspector Gadget to find out the truth, find out information, going out of their way just to prevent certain things from happening to them. And I see it as a defense mechanism to protect their love. Women eventually get to the point where they get fed up and attempt to match the game that these men are playing or even beat them at their own game. So women then attempt to become more promiscuous, putting on this facade where they don't want or need a man. They only want men for their money, and they got the ability to have many sexual partners as well. We can also see this through the music with songs like Promiscuous by Timberland or Crybaby by Meg Thee Stallion. But if we're being honest, men and women are not built the same. Women tend to be a bit more emotional, go based off of feelings, while men tend to be a bit more logical. Now, I'm not saying a man or a woman should participate in these types of activities, but I am saying that these types of activities are harder on a woman physically, emotionally, and spiritually. All this is going on, yet we're still continuing forward as a society within these society norms, like everything is okay. This is where all this underlining hate is coming from both sides. Both sides have resentment for each other for things that are going on through society, things that people are following based on societal norms. The sad part is that most people still want true love, but there's a standoff. On one side, we have the men who are becoming more feminine, but expecting women to be less masculine. And then we have the women over here who are being masculine, who are expecting men to be masculine, but not taking on their role, their responsibility to be more feminine. And then we have right smack down in the middle of us, creating all this conflict, creating all these problems, but is receiving no flack. Society norms that are created by who? Nobody but the enemy. All right, you guys, that's all I have to say for today. I really enjoyed making this video because this is something that I not only learned on my spiritual walk, but you guys, as a chosen one, and the fact that I've been chosen my whole life, I kind of just been observing my whole life and seeing as all this is going on. And, I've always wanted to speak on it because as somebody like me that sees it going on, you would think that other people are aware and seeing going on, but that's not the truth. There's some people who really are just not aware of what's going on and not aware of why they're acting like that, or not aware of why other people are acting like that. So it warms my heart to be able to talk about topics like this because they're so beneficial and so needed in these times. But that's all I have to say for today. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it to this part, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.